the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
When you think of the civil rights movement in Atlanta, Georgia, one typically thinks of Martin Luther King. This is because he was the face of the civil rights movement and promoted desegregation through nonviolent protests. He could not have accomplished as much as he did without the help of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in Atlanta University Center. What are SNCC's main goals?
We want to spread awareness about the unequal treatment of people based on their skin color through nonviolent demonstrations. As of now, we alone do not have any legal power to change this, but we do have our voices and we use them to educate as many people as possible about the issues that African Americans face every day and what we can all do to change that.
How do you spread your message to communities in Atlanta?
We hold protests sometimes on Auburn Avenue. This is the center of the city, and we can get the attention of many organizations and white upper class businesses. We go where they cannot ignore us. We also educate inner city communities like Vine City, one of the most impoverished communities in Atlanta, about their voter registrations rights and how important it is that they vote so underrepresented people like them can have a voice in this community.
Why is SNCC an important part of Atlanta's civil rights movement?
SNCC is important because we never stop fighting for equal rights for African Americans. We want economic equality and education equality. We want to vote.
Another organization that forwarded the civil rights movement along with Martin Luther King Jr. is the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
What was the goal of the NAACP?
The NAACP was founded in 1909 and was one of the first organizations to address civil rights in America. Its focus was creating strategies and acknowledging civil rights issues and ways they could eliminate them. Key issues to the organization focused on was education, accessibility to public facilities such as eating establishments, theaters, job opportunities, and its political power in regards to voting and having African Americans be involved in government or some form of politics.
What was its significance in Atlanta?
Having headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, enabled the group to focus on specific issues that the city faced on a daily routine. When Martin Luther King and the NAACP had a sit-in in front of Rich's department store, we gained credibility and recognition that the NAACP could be successful working in Atlanta, as many sit-ins followed involving lunch counters and other businesses. Atlanta was a southern city that dealt with racial inequalities and differences, so it was important for the NAACP to start working to end the segregation created up until this point.
Direct Action was a long, thoroughly planned out group of protests that aimed to fight economic inequality in Atlanta. Martin Luther King returned home and spearheaded the Direct Action movement. Atlanta is a conservative city when it comes to issues of racial inequality. Martin Luther King and SNCC were not afraid to voice their opinions. At that time, biracial negotiations were common and promoted. With the help of MLK, SNCC was not afraid to challenge the status quo. SNCC used Direct Action to promote school desegregation through Calhoun versus Ladner case, where the plaintiffs promptly won and the Supreme Court ordered the desegregation of that school. The NAACP and SNCC were only a few of the civil rights groups that were actively involved in ending segregation in Atlanta, Georgia. Though different, they envisioned the same goal of creating a more equal Atlanta for African Americans through direct action protests.